Okay, this is a video on the current administration, um, facts about the um, immigration situation going on. They're talking about, and I'll just go ahead and read it. What it's talking about is the immigration arrests have led to a rise in the number of people detained in ICE facilities nationwide. Okay, whether or not they are criminals is beside the point. I lived in Philippines for 2 years, and I was afraid to let my visa expire. So every month I had to go in and pay it so I could stay in the country. I'm American in a foreign country. So why shouldn't these people that come to America feel the same way? They should feel afraid to lose their status as a visa holder or a visitor or tourist. They should be afraid to lose that status, because if you lose that, you can either be fined, thrown out of the country, and you might not be able to return. So, having that in mind, when you come here to America, if you don't pay your visa or you overstay, you're illegal, which means you're breaking the law and you shouldn't be here. Same as me when I was in the Philippines. If I didn't pay my visa and they caught me there, the police pulled me over for some reason, they would ask, "Where's your visa? We know you're American. Do you have your visa?" And I would show it to them, and it was expired. They could take me to jail and get me in trouble. So it applies all the way across the board, whether you are in the Philippines or the United States, Russia, Germany, Iraq, anywhere you go in the country, in the world. It's no different with the United States. These people are breaking the law by not paying their dues, and therefore they cannot be here. Bottom line. So what the information is talking about, these people, there's a ton of them being held in the ICE facilities. Said that there were, as of June, there was 51,302 people detained in immigration jails. Highest number since 2019. Why? Because there was high amounts of people let in the country. Therefore, you have to arrest more of them, because more of them are breaking the law by not paying their visas, by not obeying the law. If they're not paying their visa, then they're not going to follow the laws here. Did you get that? They are not going to follow the laws here if they don't pay their visa and they escape paying that. They are lawbreakers. Get it? Got it? Good. Now that we're past that, they're lawbreakers, we can move on. Okay. Okay, since we know they're lawbreakers here, and they're not paying their visas, most of them are working, and they're paying for their nice cars and their little whatever they buy and stuff like that. So anyway, it's talking about how here that they're over, the jails are over capacity for what they're designed for. Okay. Practically speaking, Kocher said, it means people are sleeping on the floors in the prisons. They may not be getting enough food or not enough medical care. Well, guess what? I don't get enough medical care and I don't get enough food, and I'm an American. How are these people any different than us? I haven't seen a doctor in 2 years because I can't get an appointment, because COVID has blocked up all the doctor's offices and I can't get an appointment. Why should they receive better treatment than I? Really? They're complaining about being in jail, not getting enough food and not enough medical care? Who's breaking the law? I'm not breaking the law, and I'm not treated any better than they are. So there you go. Okay, and then it goes on to say, since the second beginning of President Trump's team, there's been over 236,000 illegal aliens who have been deported. Over 207,000 of them were deported, but 236 were arrested, which means there's 36,000 still here. seeking trial for their crimes. Okay, so according to the government's own data, since October, 186,000 people have been booked into immigration detention for the first time. DHS did not respond to follow-up questions regarding the discrepancy between this data. Okay, there was a discrepancy that the DHS said we don't care, we don't want to know about it. They didn't follow up with it. So anyway, these people are not being treated any different than you and I. People that are on fixed incomes, like myself, I'm on a disability and I get a fixed income. I have not seen a doctor in a year. I got a torn meniscus in my knee. I got a surgery here in my neck that needs to be fixed. And I got a bad back. I have cerebral palsy and I can't see a doctor. So you want to sit there and say these people are being mistreated? Guess what? They're like the rest of us poor people in the United States. We're all being mistreated. Yeah, if you want to really get down to the nitty-gritty of what's going on. I'm 6 minutes into this video, and now you can kind of figure it out. What is all this protesting about? It's for nothing. These people are criminals. They have broken the law. They need to be arrested, and they need to be sent back to their country because they are not paying for their visa like I had to pay when I was in the Philippines. I was afraid to not pay my visa because if I got caught, they'd kick me out. So I kept up with my visa. Every month I had to pay anywhere from 2,000 to 4,000 pesos a month, which is like $40. So it wasn't paying the $40. It was a hardship. It was going to the immigration every month because it was 2 hours, a 2-hour drive every month to go pay it. These people here in America don't want to go to the immigration just like I didn't. But I paid my visa and I stood in the Philippines and I did not break the law. I am a law-abiding citizen, therefore I stood for 2 years. Nobody bothered me. I followed the laws. I didn't speed. I didn't litter. I didn't break any of the Filipinos' laws, and therefore I was in following their laws, and so that wasn't a problem. But if I had not paid my visa, that means I'm not going to follow other laws. Just like here in America, these immigrants are not following the laws if they're not going to pay their visa. Get it? Got it? Good. People that don't pay their visas are more likely to break other laws. Do you want people here that are breaking laws? No. So that's what all this protesting is going on about. And people out there, Americans supporting them, supporting people waving other country flags. If you like your country so much, shouldn't you go back and live there or pay your visa? Get here legally like everybody else does. Fill out your paperwork, get your green card, continue to work, pay your visa, and do what you're supposed to be doing. Bottom line. Don't complain. You're here in this country just like I was in the Philippines. I paid my visa, and I followed the country's laws. I know how to speak English, and that's the country's language down there, and so I was able to speak to everybody in that country. If you come here, you need to learn English because that's the country's language. And if you don't learn English, how are you going to get along here? I have an account at Walmart where I ordered my groceries, and they went to the neighbor's house, and the neighbors kept my groceries because the driver doesn't speak a word of English. How did he even get a job at Walmart if he can't speak English? You see the problem here? That is the problem. Come here, you don't intend on learning anything. No, you don't want to learn the language. You don't want to fit into the fabric. You just want to come here and get some money and send it back home to support your family. Well, guess what? That's not going to work. You need to learn the language. There's classes at community colleges and high schools where you can learn the language if you want to stay here. It's like me when I went to the Philippines. They speak Tagalog. They speak Ilocos. But everybody understands English, and therefore I got along. I could have worked if I wanted to. I was able to go to the store. I was able to talk to the police. I was able to talk to people everywhere I went there. So no problem. But you can't come here to America and not learn the language and expect to get along. Okay, 10 minutes of my time and 10 minutes of your time. Hope you like it. If you did, put a comment in the comment box. Please be respectful and rude. Please do not cuss or do anything crazy. All I'm doing is putting out information that is already out there. So, hope you like this information. If not, well.